Setting your objectives is certainly not the most fascinating topic to talk about, but it's the most important step into creating your personalized trading plan. It is essential to have a target to aim for. And to do this, we'll go through 3 steps. Step 1 is to do a personal assessment. Step 2 is to set and define our objectives. And step 3 is to talk about our trading ideas. For each of these sections, there will be a set of questions that are important to answer and to write down for yourself. I will include the link to these questions in the description below so you can download and answer them for yourself. Let's dive in. So why is it such an important step to define your objectives? Well, first, it's important to know who we are so we can design a system that's right for you. And next, it's important to know where we're going so you can have a target to aim for. It's a bit like driving through a town that you've never been to without a map. And if you don't know where you're going, then how are you going to expect to arrive at your destination? It's so important to define the outcome and have it clear in your mind so that you can work backwards and take the steps that you need to get there. Okay, so how are we going to do this? I've broken it down into 3 steps. The first step is a personal assessment. This is much like a SWOT analysis of yourself to understand who you are. We're going to talk about your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and what might be holding you back. Step 2 is to define our objectives. So this is very important, like I said, to know where we're going, to have that target to aim for. What does that look like in terms of dollar amounts, return percentages, and really drill down what that looks like for you. And third is your trading ideas. So what kind of style, what kind of strategy, entries, exits are going to suit your psychology, your individual needs. Okay, so step 1 is the personal assessment. So like I said before, this is a bit of a SWOT analysis of you. So let's just go ahead and pull up these questions. Okay, so part 1 is the self-assessment. So there's about 8 questions here. Again, click the link in the description below to access these questions and answer them for yourself. So I've answered them a little bit, but we're just going to go through the questions quickly. So first one is about how much time do you have devoted to working on your trading plan? Do you have another job that you're working, or do you have a lot of time to spend? Next, what are your computer skills? How much do you know about statistics? What would you rate your market knowledge? Your psychological strengths and weaknesses in terms of personal development. Are you a compulsive person? Do you have personal, family, job conflicts that are going to arise in your trading? Do you have an emotional issues that keep cropping up? And then based on this personal inventory, what do you need to learn, accomplish, or solve prior to trading? So just to highlight some areas that you have found that you need to work on. Okay, so that is step 1, the personal assessment. Let's move along to step 2. Step 2 is setting your objectives. So like I said before, this is so important to have a target to aim for. Your mind is a very powerful tool and it can really work for you. But in order to do that, you need a vision, you need an image of the outcome that you want to achieve. When you have that outcome, you can really work backwards, step by step, towards getting there. But it's important to be clear. Clearly define what it is that you want from your trading. So let's go back to the questions. Part 2, define your objectives. What is your advantage or edge in trading? Is there a particular concept that you are trading that gives you an advantage? So for me, I follow a trend following strategy using the Gann swing chart. Maybe for you that's different. In some future videos, we're going to talk about some trading strategies. If you have no idea about any of these questions, it's okay to leave it blank, but it's important to go through them and just to think about your answers. Think about the questions, think about the answers. So when we do start to develop that trading plan, you've already thought about it a bit. You know the options, you have done your personal assessment, and then you can design something that's kind of suited to you. Question 2 is how much money do you have personally? How much of that are you going to be trading with? And how much would you be comfortable with losing in a given year? Okay. Question 3, how much money do you need to make each year? Do you need to live off that money? What if you don't make enough to live off it? Can you make more than you need to live off it so your trading capital can grow? Can you stand regular withdrawals from your trading capital to pay your bills? Guys, this is such an important question. If you're planning to trade to cover your living expenses, then you really need to define what your living expenses are, how much money you have, and so you can get an idea of what kind of return that you need in order to pay for your living expenses. I actually did a video on this talking about how much do you need to be financially free. I'm gonna drop the link here if you wanna check that out. But this is essentially exactly that, okay? How much money do I need to cover my living expenses, which is essentially financial freedom, in my opinion. Question 4, are you being realistic? Or are you expecting to trade like one of the best traders in the world, okay? If you have a $10,000 account and you want to make $50,000 a year because you've decided that that's what your living expenses are, that is a massive return and it's not very realistic, okay? So be realistic, okay? Could you tolerate 10 losses in a row, okay? Important question. In summary, what do you expect to make each year as a percentage of your trading capital? What risks are you willing to tolerate? What is the largest peak to trough drawdown? And how will you know your plan is working? And how will you know if it's not working? How do you expect from your system? What do you expect from your system in various kinds of markets? Okay, whether it's a trending market, sideways market, highly volatile, up, down. Okay, it's really important to think about all these questions and to answer them specifically. I'm going to bring you back to the slide here. I want you to think in terms of your SMART objective. So just to clarify, for those of you who aren't familiar with the SMART objectives or SMART goals, that's specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. So when you're answering these questions, make sure you are very specific in terms of dollars, cents, time, make sure it's relevant, all of those things to really get the most clearly defined goal objectives in your mind so that you have a target that you can actually aim at. Next, step 3 is got to do with your trading ideas. What kind of ideas do you have in mind that you would like to implement into your trading strategy? So maybe you already have some ideas of some entry and exit signals that suit you, that you've used before, or maybe something that you would like to learn more about because you know that suits your psychology. Also to do with time frame, okay? Do you have a lot of time to be trading? You want to be in and out many times throughout the day, or maybe you want to take a bit of a long-term approach where you're just taking maybe a few trades a week or a month, something like that. I just want to say again, that's just how important it is to think about these things so you're defining and creating a trading plan that suits you. Remember, that is the holy grail. That is for you what's gonna work, and that's what's gonna make you money, right? Just because it works for somebody else doesn't mean it's gonna work for you. Step number 1 is the personal assessment. Step 2 is defining your objectives, and step 3 is where we really start to turn the gears and get into what does that system look like for us, okay? So let's skip over to the questions for trading ideas. Question 1, what kind of markets do you want to trade? Do you want to specialize? Do you want to generalize? Liquid markets, illiquid markets? Okay. What beliefs do you have about entering the market, and how important do you believe your entry to be? Spoiler alert, the entry is the least important thing, at least in my opinion, and a lot of other top traders and investors. Entering the market is not as important as exiting the market, okay? That's where the money is made. That's what separates the amateurs from the professionals. Given your goals in terms of returns and drawdowns, what kind of initial risk stop do you want? If it's close, will you be able to get back into the market so that you do not miss a move? Okay, this is important to think about. And question 4, how do you plan to take profits? Okay, guys, this is the most important question in my opinion. As I said before, entries are important, but what's more important are your exits, right? That is where you make money. You don't make money until you sell, okay? Until then, it's just paper profits or paper losses. Hopefully not paper losses too much. It's paper profits, okay? You have to sell to make money. That's when you withdraw. That's when you take it into your bank account and actually spend the money on your living expenses or whatever. Okay, anyone can enter into a trade and you can hold it for many months, many years. But until you sell and you take that money out, you withdraw it, you're not gonna make any money and it's all for nothing. Okay guys, that wraps it up for this video. You are now ready to start building your strategy. This was such an important step, the first step in building a trading plan that's right for you. We went through the 3 steps. First, a personal assessment. Second, we did the defining your objectives. Super important, guys, to have those objectives clear in your mind so you have a target to aim for that's really going to help you move along and hit that target and achieve the outcome that you're really here to achieve. And the third step is some trading ideas. So we talked about some trading ideas that are really going to be the foundation moving forward as we begin to develop a strategy that's going to take you on your path to personal and financial freedom. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this content. We're going to have a lot more videos like this, and if you enjoyed, feel free to like, subscribe, stick around, and until next time, take care.